Hey, welcome to Estevan TV. I'm at pushgapradio.com.
Pushgapradio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. Pushgapradio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
Pushgapradio.com. Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Live from Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. Pushgap Radio.
Ooh, girl, you can't hear how Dallas, Fort Worth works. This is Jackie.
What up, y'all? This is Jackie
Of Shaka Ford 1 and the main event show.
Goes a little something like that.
Shaka Ford.
Shaka Ford 1 and the main event with me, the Queen B, Jackie up. Heard exclusively on Pushgap Radio. Giving you two scoops.
And goes a little something like that.
PushGapRadio.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome to a 2023 edition of the bangingest thing on your urban internet radio dial. We've been away for a little bit. I've been going through some issues. Those of you who have a Class B or Class A CDL will understand. I got denied November 9th for my DOT physical. So between running there and running back and forth to the VA to get things squared away, kind of been out of the loop for a moment. Happy holidays to one and all. Happy New Year. For those of you who were blessed to see the year 2023. Shout out to my boy Terry Newby of Gary, Indiana. Also, she was a classmate of mine. Gary Horace Mann, class of 1979 in Gary, Indiana. Also to Miss Anita Johnson, who passed away over the weekend as well. Would like to send my condolences out to their family and to everyone in Gary, Indiana who were friends or relatives of Terry Newby and Anita Johnson. Terry Newby and I were born on the exact same day, December 25th, 1960. We graduated together out of Gary Horace Mann. Terry Newby was my boy. Anita and her twin sister, Loretta Johnson, lived a block over from me. Johnson girls were phenomenal. Had a little brother named Michi, but just wanted to send my condolences out. You know, we're our parents and grandparents now. But just kind of hit me. I last seen Terry Newby in 2019 at our class reunion in Gary, Indiana. And, man, that just really hit me, man. Old New had some complications or whatever. He was 62 years old. We each turned 62 on Christmas Day. And I just wanted to give my condolences, man. Let you know that we got more yesterdays than we have tomorrows. Those of you of a certain age. But as you well know, when it's time to leave here, it's just time to leave here. No one is guaranteed to have a long, happy life. And, you know, Damar Hamlin showed you that. Sure, many of you saw that on Monday Night Football. Kid plays for the Buffalo Bills, played safety, and got hit and, you know, severe trauma to the chest, and that disrupted the heart's electrical charge, causing dangerous fibrillations. Seems to be doing okay now. He's 24, 25 years old, young guy. But I just said that to say this, you know, life is short, man. You know, so whatever you think you're going through or whatever, I just want you to know that there's always someone, you know, the old heads used to say this, there's always someone who has it worse than you. We're getting into OG dads and bitch made sons. Okay. Been watching a lot of the Master P and 50 Cent, Brian McKnight, Kurt Franklin. Don't forget what Shaquille O'Neal said to his children. I'm rich. We're not rich. which means they're going to have to make it out on their own. Sure, he said it to his sons and not to his daughter. You know, you're going to take care of the girl, but them boys, they got to get out and make it happen. That's why you have a 2-parent household. Mom and the dad. Daddy is going to get you told. I had started researching this show back during Christmas. I had been off work. I had been off work from November 9th until today, November 4th, 2023, almost 2 months. Again, dealing with my DOT physical. Finally got it. I drive the city bus for the city of Dallas, Texas. Used to drive motor coaches and whatnot, but that is neither here nor there. But while I was headed to work to get everything set up for my triumphant return, I heard the Business podcast, which is really the Black Authority, Jason Black out of Shreveport, Louisiana, down there in the boot with Master P and them. And that's what made me come in today and finish up on this, because I just really, you know, it's just different generations today than when those of us of a certain age came along. Now, to me, all of them figure that if dad got it, I should have it, not have to work for it. It comes from not having to fight for a damn thing. Master P had to get it out the dirt. They had to fight, scrape, and steal to get it. Worked hard so their kids did not have to go through what they went through, what they endured to get where they are. We want to talk about pandemics. It's a pandemic of ungrateful bitch-made children today. Generation of spoiled-ass kids who were born to people who got it out the mud, fam. We had to get it out in the street. Now, I know you heard of 50 Cent's son, 26-year-old Marquise Jackson, that bum. Romeo Miller's 33 years old. Kurt Franklin's son, you remember him. Carrion Franklin, 34 years old. Grown-ass men. Brian McKnight's kids. But these are just three of some of the most famous people lately that have been going through it with their sons, man. It's not like you're the daughter. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're the daughter. You're the son, the man-child. So the three most famous people's son, it seems to me that, you know, as grown-ass men, they just feel it's just to come easy to them. Just looking for handouts. Look at Ice Cube's son, 31-year-old O'Shea Jackson Jr. Remember him? He said that his dad opened the door for him, but he had to make it happen on his own. He said even when he got on his feet, he changed agents, management, and everything, publicists, and so that he could, you know, do the rest on his own. Played Ice Cube and Straight Outta Compton. Like Ice Cube said, he was born for the role. Now, Ice Cube is one of them people, fam. There's no way in the hell he could deny that O'Shea Jackson Jr. was his kid. Spitting image. But this kid didn't rest on the laurels of his dad. He went out and made it happen for himself. He wanted to do the rest of it on his own. When it comes to Master P and 50 Cent and Kurt Franklin's kid, it's all about disrespect, entitlement, and laziness. In my book, Romeo screaming that Master P took his money to pay his taxes. Master P's taxes was like $1.5 million. Romeo barely made a little bit over $500,000 in everything that he did, from Nickelodeon to dang on, what was that? His little crappy albums. Hell, Bow Wow sold more albums, and look at him, he's broke. Come on now. Disrespect, entitlement, and laziness. You just want it handed to you. It is what it is. Now, according to Master P, Romeo didn't make as much loot as he thought he did. He claims he made $50 million. Now, don't know if you're aware of Nino Brown. He's a YouTuber. And Master P was on his show. You know? And he spoke out about what was going on with Romeo and the money's made and things of that nature. And it's just sad. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad that you would really rest on the laurels of your dad, of your parents even. Now, there are some famous people that are in the industry, but some of them have changed their names because they did not want to be associated with their famous parents. Romeo didn't make no $50 million. Again, when he was on Nickelodeon, he only made, like they said, $530,000. You're not making a lot of money over there. You're not. I'm trying to see how much money Lil Romeo's albums generated. How many albums did he even have? Not a lot, I'm sure. I think it was only 3. He only sold 500,000. Little Romeo in 2001 sold 500,000. 2001, it ranked at 349. Sad. That's a loss for No Limit. That's a loss. No Limit was coming out platinum. You know what I'm saying? He was coming out platinum at No Limit. You done shook your ass to No Limit. Come on now. He didn't make the money he thought he made. And now he thinks he should be compensated instead of being like O'Shea Jackson Jr. and going out there making it happen for yourself. Shout out to Nino Brown, where I got my show prep. But Master P broke down and showed, fam, you didn't make that kind of loot. Check this out.
So now, what do you think you make on the Nickelodeon show? Because if my son said he made $50 million.
No, they don't pay like that.
What do you think they pay? What, Juggy, Google the highest paid star on Nickelodeon. That's anybody can do that. The journalists can do this too if they really, because this is how we got to educate our people. Because everybody want to get to Hollywood.
Watch this.
2009, my son was on Nickelodeon at 2003 to 2006. And we shot the show in Canada. So if you shoot a show in Canada, that means you're going for tax breaks.
Yeah.
And all that. It's not a. So I just want to educate the people to that, right? So back then, the Olsen twins made $2,400 an episode. So I'm just saying, she made $9,000. My son probably made $5,000 an episode, right?
Right.
No, let's say $10,000. He had 53 episodes. 53 episodes times 10,000. I'll give him an extra 1,000. How much is that, Jay?
530.
Huh? 530,000.
$500,000. A little bit over.
$500,000 from 2003 to 2006. Now think about that.
Now you got to pay taxes on it.
So 2 episodes, that would be 2003 to 2004. How much? Times 10. And that's a high number. I'm going to just say it. 150. My taxes worth millions of dollars. That's what I'm saying. All y'all don't get it, y'all, because y'all ain't doing it because all y'all see somebody on TV. So think about it. At this time, you got 150. My taxes is millions. Y'all know that was the biggest thing. Oh, everybody laughed at Master P over what he done. But look how gold worked. You got to give something up.
Right.
That's what I gave up.
Sacrifice.
But that's what I gave up for my family. Because if I would went to jail, where would they be? None of them. They would have been back in the ghetto. Instead of me holding on to the house with the gold ceilings and all, I gave it to the people.
Man.
And so for the people who thought that Romeo made millions from Nickelodeon, he barely made $500,000 over 4 seasons. And you have to think that percentages of his income, it goes to other people. When you're at Hollywood, your checks are not just for you. You have to pay lawyers, agents, management, all kinds of people, accountants, and that's before you pay the IRS. So Master P, he was explaining he had his tax situation in 2004 where he owed millions to the IRS. At that time, Romeo had only made about $100,000 from the TV show. That was baby money compared to the millions that P owed. So that right there debunked the whole lie about Master P using Romeo's money to pay his taxes. Like, Romeo, what money?
But look, think about it.
Yeah, you didn't have it popping like that. And even the money you made. Look at the people you had to pay. Managers, agents, publicists, accountants, lawyers. And that's all before the tax man come to holler at you, fam. Romeo thinks he made 10 million albums. I mean, 10 million, he sold 10 million records. You didn't. You didn't make that. Now let's look at 50 Cent's sorry ass son. Think about it. What all 50 Cent has done with power and things of that nature. Hell, you could have been like Ice Cube's kid and been playing a young Kanan right now in the Power series. Your old man's the producer. You should have took the influence that 50 Cent had and tried to make something of it. All you need is for your old man or your mom to just open the door and let you in, and you take it from there. Again, how many people do you know that are in Hollywood who are related to someone famous? Tracee Ellis Ross comes to mind. Diana Ross's daughter, the actress. Evan Ross, her son. Nicolas Cage. You aware of Nick Cage? His people are famous. See who he's related to. Yeah. Francis Ford Coppola was Nicolas Cage's people. Great actor. Great actor. Francis Ford Coppola. And they just got him in. He's the nephew of Francis Ford Coppola. And actress Talia Shire. You know who that is? She played Rocky's wife, Sylvester Stallone. But he dropped the Coppola name once they got him in. And he went and made it happen. All you need is your folks to open the door for you. The chick from 90120. Her dad was a producer. Okay. Make sure I got it. Yeah, 901. Tori Spelling. Her dad was a great producer. Aaron Spelling. Even if you use the name, you still take it and run with it. You don't do this crap where you sit around and you in your damn 30s and your folks supposed to be still spoon feeding you. Again, 50 Cent's son was getting what, $7,500 a month or some such. See, it wasn't enough. Sorry, bastard. Maybe take some acting classes or something. 50 Cent pretty much said forget about him. People will look and say, well, that's wrong to treat your kid like that. Your kid's treating himself like that. How long do you think the gravy train is going to run? It's what my old man used to say. They figure they should just get it off the strength of, just off the rip. But from their perspective, from their way of thinking, they just going to end up being failures and not their own men. My old man is gone now. My stepdad, John Terrell Atkins, JT, rest his soul. Growing up during my time, I'd sometimes get mad at the old man. Just turned 62 Christmas Day. Wish I could hug him again and tell him how grateful I am for the tough love and discipline he instilled in me and my siblings, made me the man that I am. What was odd, January 3rd, I finally went to Concentra to get my medical card, my DOT physical. And I had to go back to the VA one more time. I know my doctor was tired of seeing my ass. But when the nurse opened the door and called my name, she turned to somebody and said, huh? You looking for JT? That let me know the ancestors was there. That let me know I had already passed. And when I got back there, the doctor came in, just had me sign something and gave me my deal. Of all the names you could have called, you said JT. JT wasn't no joke. JT was old school. Like a lot of you all's people were. It's like I tell my wife, Jackie O, I was raised by the same men that was in your life. Your dad, your granddad, your uncles, your family friends. It's not about what kind of man he was. It's about what kind of man that generation was. JT prepared me. Like he told me, I'm raising you so that you're not running to your mom every time you break a fingernail. You know what I'm saying? These youngsters don't get it. Every time some little thing happen, him gotta call him mommy. And that's all these kids are. Again, it's nothing but disrespect, entitlement, and laziness. My old man taught me things that are priceless. And I would never fault him for his shortcomings and honor him for his love, protection, and guidance that he gave me as a child. And he'd have killed anybody that tried to harm me. These boys are 100% wrong, fam. See, Master P said he never laid the belt. They never went through anything. See, when you go through something, steel sharpens steel. And because, like JT told me, I'm raising you so that every time you break a fingernail, you're not calling your mama. I can handle the pressures of life without crumbling because I had an alpha dad that got me ready for life. My brother told me a month or so ago that my mom, Lord rest her soul, she's been gone 2 years now. Said mom was upset because I never called her for anything. I had to think about that. I think in my life, I've only called my mom 3 or 5 times. 3 to 5 times. And that was in my 20s. But like the man said, I'm raising you to be able to get through life. These kids never went through anything. You didn't go through the things that Master P went through. You didn't go through the things that 50 Cent went through or Kurt Franklin went through or Brian McKnight went through to get where they got. But then you get this sense of, I don't want my children to have to go through what I went through. But that's what makes you strong. See, it's the son of someone famous like that or successful who's made major accomplishments in life. The son has to make their own way in the world. And make and pay their own dues and produce their own goods and services. A son's goal is to surpass their own father. And with their success, while the goal of a daughter is to find someone that will surpass her father and take better care of her than her father ever could. That's the goal. And you should never deviate from that. Kids are spoiled. The fuck you think little Romeo ever went through? Living with Master P as his dad. Now, I don't know if MTV Cribs was Fugazi or genuine, but didn't they air an episode that Romeo and his little sister had like a 10-room mansion next door to their parents, and Romeo was like 12 or 13? You remember that? The fuck out of here. Now here you come. You 33 years old, fam. Where was I at there? Oh, I was in the Fed at 33, okay? And robbing banks and shit, okay? 33 years old. There's a saying that you raise your kids and you spoil your grandkids. It's the saying I always heard. You raise your kid. But again, I don't want my child to have to go through what I went through. But what you went through made you who you are. But when you're coddled and babied and sheltered, look what you become. We live in an age of young folk that have narcissism and entitlement issues. Grown-ass kids talking about what their parents owe them. Your parents don't owe you shit. Look at Magic Johnson. Now, I'm not talking about EJ, the gay kid. I'm talking about his other son, Andre. Magic Johnson did it right with his oldest kid, Andre. He wanted his son to follow him in business. And eventually, he wanted to leave the business to him. So he had him learn at his side. Magic took him to the meetings, got him comfortable in them rooms with them men, white men. Had him work in the business. You know, Magic owns movie theaters and Starbucks and whatnot. Did you know that at his movie theaters, instead of just making his son Andre the boss, he had to do every duty at the theater, mopping floors, cleaning bathrooms, making popcorn. Work the concession stands. You know, grunt work. Magic said he didn't want him to think that certain tasks were beneath him because he's the boss's son. Wasn't going to just hand it to him. And if he didn't want to do that, then he could just go off and do whatever he wanted, Magic said. But said he wasn't going to just hand him anything. There's another saying that hard times create strong men create good times, but good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. These people today are just a generation of emotionally struggling people. Remember Brian McKnight back in August of 2019? His kids claimed that he abandoned them. But Brian McKnight said he guessed one of his only faults was that he gave his children everything that he didn't have in hopes that they would appreciate it because he knew how much he would have appreciated it when he was their age. You ever think like that? The things you would appreciate, your kids take for granted. Now, the singer said he cut his adult sons off financially when they were 25 and 22 after he gave them an apartment, gave them a 2-year period to get jobs and become independent and financially stable. But after 2 years, they hadn't done that, and Brian McKnight stopped financially supporting them. Said his wife, Lilana, who he married in 2017, not the son's mom, because she'd have probably just spoon-fed him, had even tried to get them on their feet, but their response to her was like a spit in the face, he said. She tried to get them jobs at the local children's hospital where she worked, but they declined the offer because they didn't want to stop smoking weed. Said that Brian Jr. even broke into his home a few months ago, back in 2019, and vandalized a wedding photo of him and Lilana and put a wedding photo of his mom, Julie McKnight. You still got parental issues in your 20s. You don't understand how relationships work in your 20s? I don't give a damn what mom told me about my dad. Once I'm in my 20s, it's time for me as a man to understand what went on. Haven't you had relationships? Haven't you dated girls? You understand sometimes it just don't work out. You still holding on to that like you're 12? Brian McKnight said he wasn't abandoning them, they were estranged. It's human nature. These kids grow up in privilege, simply won't have the mental awareness to know and ingest gratefulness and respect into their being. See, the old folk knew a certain amount of struggle was necessary in order for you to grow up into a mature and responsible adult. You had to go through something. Like my folks said, we ain't going to always be here. I remember when I was 17, got a speeding ticket. My parents sent me to court on my own. They didn't go with me. And then quizzed me when I got home. Well, how did it go? What happened? What did you say? They didn't hold my hand. So by the next time I had to go to damn court, I wasn't as fearful. I know people now in their 30s and 40s, their mama still got to go to court with them. You ever watch these shows? And I know I'm getting off topic here. I only meant to make this about Master P and 50 Cent and their sons. But you ever watch shows like, I don't know, Maury Povich or Jerry Springer or what's her name, Judge Lake, or any of the court shows or whatnot? Grown ass man trying to find out if the baby is his. He in here with him mama. What your mama doing in here with you? You 20-something, 30-something the hell years old. Your mama in here court with you holding your hand over grown folk shit that you did. It's just sad, man. I recall girl was complaining to me about her son. I let her talk for a minute. I turned and looked at her. I said, well, that's how his mama raised him. Girl didn't speak for me for damn near an hour. Because you have to think about it. Him, your baby, when he 8 years old, 12 years old, 16 years old. Now he's 25, 35, 45, sleeping on your couch or in the basement. Now he an ain't shit ass nigga. But that's how his mama raised him. See, that's why you need two parents. But I digress. The father knows what it takes for you to be a black man out in this world. The mama knows what it takes for the daughter to be a woman out in this world. Because a dad is going to what? Coddle his daughter. The mama going what? Coddle her son. But each one knows how to step in and put them in their rightful place. Kids just grow up in privilege and they just don't have the mental awareness to knowing and just gratefulness and respect. Again, old folks knew that a certain amount of struggle was necessary. Just goes to show wealth and success isn't the end all be all. You got to get your offspring to see that life ain't easy and don't nobody owe you shit. And they get into a certain place financially the right way. It's hard. Romeo didn't make the money he thought he made. That his mama and his family whispering in his ear, man, your daddy got your money. Your daddy did this. It's a whole lot of times Master P took a L on you, Romeo. People didn't open doors and shit because you was Romeo Miller. They opened doors and shit because you was Master P's son. Come on now. Wasn't about you. Gratefulness is learned. It's not taught. Well, it is taught, but if it's not taught, it will not be observed. I remember, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I remember I played drums at this church called Ben Washington in Irving, Texas. The church was attended late 80s. The church was attended by Tom Joyner's family. Killer and Thriller. Bert and Tom. One day after church, we're out in the back. We're talking, kicking the bobo, chopping it up. Tom Joyner's son, Tom Jr., turns to me. And we were talking about something. And he said, you wish you were me. They were in high school at the time. So, I didn't think much of it. Still don't today. You're a kid. You don't know shit. He's a grown-ass man. And he said, you wish you were me. And I turned right back to him because he was Tom Joyner's kid, his ex-wife Doris, and Bert and Tom came all the time. Tom came a couple of times. But when he made the statement, I kicked right back in. I say, you ain't shit. Your old man the one that's famous. You just lucky sperm. And he stood there with his mouth open. Again, I don't hold it against him or anything. He was a kid. He doesn't know. They've grown into great young men. I followed their career. Afterwards, they've been with the Tom Joyner Foundation. I think Tom is the president. Bert does something else. Tom used to call him Killer and Thriller. But yeah, made that statement. And that's how a lot of youngsters feel. Because their parent or whatever is famous, they're famous. Look at Patrick Mahomes, his stupid ass brother. Not saying he's where Romeo and 50 Cent and them son is, but Pat Mahomes is his brother, so he does a lot of dumb shit because he's living vicariously through his brother's fame. You ain't shit. You just lucky sperm. What's your claim to fame? What have you done in the world? What mark have you set? Gratefulness is learned. If it's not taught, it just will never be observed. The only way to learn in life is to be humbled by the struggle and deprivation, both real and perceived, of others with compassion and yourself with conditioning. If you ever keep your children in a bubble all their life and hand them everything without requiring them to earn it, they won't learn. My parents didn't play that shit. They just didn't. See, today these kids aren't invested. What do you mean by that, Shaq? Here's something old folk used to say when I was a baby. That if I gave you a car, a lot of you know where I'm going with this. Make me a little drink. Not on camera today. Be back with that next week in the new year. Not on camera today, but I had been working on this show, and since Master P's Little Ordeal came out, and Jason Black just inspired me to go ahead and continue the show. But if I gave you a card, old folks said, gave it to you, you're not invested. When I saw that card 3, 4, 6 months from now, it would look like shit. Ain't done shit to it. But if I made you pay me $100, $500, $1,000 for the car, even though it was worth way more than that, then next time I saw that car, it would be clean. You probably have a sound system in it, probably put some rims on it. Why? Because you're invested. You put up some money, mine. These youngsters ain't never had to do shit. Imagine the life Master P lived down in Magnolia, down in the Boot, Louisiana. Imagine the life 50 Cent lived up in New York, shot 9 times. Imagine the life Kirk Franklin lived down here in Fort Worth, Texas. Your children didn't have to go through that. You didn't want them to go through that. But that's what made you who you are. Steel sharpens steel, baby. But your kids didn't go through shit. Now they're disrespectful, entitled, and lazy. Just a generation full of emotionally struggling young people. Like it's a trend or something. Remember Brian McKnight? Like I was telling you about him. Said his kids just spit in his face after all he gave them because he didn't want them. What did Brian McKnight go through to get where he was? I understand that parents want the best for their kids and for them to have the things they didn't have. But too many kids don't know the struggle. So they have zero drive, no respect or appreciation for what their parents went through to make their lives better. Moral of the story, Don't give your kids everything. Let them earn some things that they want. We were 7, 8, 9 years old, my brother and I in Gary, Indiana. Stephen Shackelford lives in Irving, Texas. We had a paper route. Our parents did not wake us up to go deliver them damn papers. Sunday papers were delivered at 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Normal paper was delivered after school. Parents didn't wake us up. We shoveled snow. This was to get the things that we wanted. The extras. Kids today get everything handed to them. I remember I dated this one girl that was from New Orleans, Louisiana. I remember one day we were out doing something and we went by the movie theater. I said, what are you doing here? She was getting her daughter and her boyfriend tickets for a movie later that night. It was Friday, I believe. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm getting them so they don't have to do it. Because you do everything for the child. My parents didn't do shit. As a kid, you thought it was bad, but like I told you earlier, as you get older into adulthood, you appreciate your parents making you do things. Again, these kids are selfish, unappreciative, entitled, and fucking lazy. Again, I understand you want the best for your kid, but everybody has to go through something. Everybody has to earn what they get in their life to show that things aren't going to always go your way. Romeo is extremely blessed to have escaped the hard knock life that Master P went through with welfare, Section 8, food stamps, and living on street corners and looking for the next meal and shit. Count your blessings, Romeo. Damn. Same thing for 50 Cent's kid. Same thing for Kirk Franklin's kid. Same thing for Brian McKnight's kid. He had it too damn easy. When Master P was toting Romeo punk ass around, Romeo should have been making his own contacts. Now, it was little Bow Wow, who came up in the same era. Is he out here bitching, moaning, and complaining? I see Bow Wow out making shit happen. Trying to anyway. Your time is come and gone, but I don't hear him bitching about his mom or whatnot and about his money.
Now let's address the rap snacks.
Then people laughing. Romeo put up the thing about the rap snacks. So how could you do all that? But anyway, it's gonna be a teachable moment.
Right.
Rap Snacks was created with my partner James, right?
James, right?
So think about this. Rap Snacks was a promotional bag for Universal.
Right.
So go look at this. It was a promotion. Nobody made money. So I'm just saying, think about it. People go and look back. Romeo put up the little video. But man, come on, bro. James didn't want you on the bag.
No.
James came to me saying, me and James almost fought, dog. We were almost actually fought because James said, I want you on the bag. You the hottest right. I say, but think about it. At the time I said, James, I don't need to be on the bag. I got my son. I want to put him on the bag. And James said,
sacrifice.
I sacrificed. And guess what? Look how it came back to bite me. But we ain't at Rap Snacks, we ain't make no money for years. Think about you.
I believe that.
No,
You
people
going to get Lay's, you going to get Doritos.
Bro, we ain't make no money for years.
I
Like we
believe
just
that.
started making money.
I know
James,
it.
just when Romeo was a kid, he never signed no deal with Rap Snacks.
Master P toted Romeo ass around everywhere. Romeo ass should have been building. Look at the Wayans. You talking about some niggas who soaked up the game. When they got touted around with Keenan and Damon, nigga, they used it. All them Wayans is on point. All of them. Now you got the young Wayans coming along. The little gay daughter, she's a comedian. Damon's son, hell, that nigga look just like him. Nigga, you can't never say Damon Jr. ain't your kid. Like Ice Cube's kid. Did P. Diddy ever give his kids that kind of platform? And if you really think about it, Jalen Smith is the only kid I can think of that got more exposure as a son than Romeo. Will and Jada Smith's kid. Say he wanted to chop off his Joe Lewis. Don't know how that went. But when you get that type of exposure, you have to start setting yourself up for down the road. That's probably why Angela Simmons didn't fuck with him. Romeo ain't got no excuses. Now, here are some rich people who say that they wasn't leaving no money to their kids. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is worth $96 billion. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett famously told Fortune magazine in 1986 that he would give his children enough money so that they would feel they could do anything, but not so much that they could do nothing. 36 years later, in July of 2022, Buffett maintains his children won't be receiving an inheritance from his $96 billion. Bill Gates, net worth of $133.8 billion. Told Parade magazine he's not planning to turn over his massive fortune to his kids. Gates explained that his children will be given every opportunity to get an education, but they will not be left to live off a hefty inheritance. Said his kids will receive a great education and some money, so they're never going to be poorly off, but they'll go out and have their own career. So it's not a favor to kids to give them huge sums of wealth. It distorts anything they might do in creating their own path. He said after passing a small amount of money to his offspring, Bill Gates and his ex-wife Melinda will get the rest of their fortune to a charity, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which funds health and education projects around the world. Now, Bill Gates full of that bullshit, too. Okay, buying up all that farmland and this and that, but we ain't talking about that. Talking about everything handed to you. Disrespectful, unappreciative little bastards like Romeo. And like 50 Cent's bum-ass damn son, Marcus Jackson, 26 years old. Kurt Franklin's son, Carry-On Franklin, is 34. Romeo Miller is 33. Yeah. Sting, the British musician, net worth of $550 million, say he ain't leaving no cash to his 6 kids. Say he plans to spend the majority of his fortune. Said I told him won't be much money left because we spending it. Said he'd help his kids if they were in trouble. We don't believe that's necessary. He said they got work ethic. Say the word, work ethic. And they need to succeed on their own merit. George Lucas, same thing, Star Wars fame, $5.1 billion. But he said his 4 kids ain't going to enjoy the fruits of his labor either. So he's dedicating the majority of his wealth to improving education. Star Wars creator wrote in his pledge letter in 2010. He says the key to survival of the human race. Romeo wasn't making no real money, man. Just wasn't. Not like he think he was. He wasn't jumping off like Romeo think it was jumping off. You know what I'm saying? Master P had to get it out the mud, fam, out the dirt. Master P was selling shit out the trunk of his car. Turned down $10 million because he believed in himself. Now here's Romeo bitching about some money that's owed to him. Romeo ain't have to work for shit. He didn't have to do that, what P did. Didn't have to work for it. Just want to get broke off like a little bitch. They ain't built like that, like P was back in the day, like 50 was back in the day. Again, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's kid. That's what you're supposed to do. Go out, make it happen. When your old man introduce you to somebody, don't just say, hey, and walk the fuck away. You have to build your own relationships as you become grown. Once you hit 18, you grown, right? How many of us wanted to be so damn grown when we were kids? And now that we got grown, we wish we could go back to a time where mama and daddy was paying for everything. Stevie Wonder said it best. I wish those days would come back once more because I loved them so. Then the youngster came along with the rap song. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Life is hard when you grown. Shit ain't free no more. Shit free till you graduate high school. I tell youngsters that today. Whatever it is you plan on doing, nigga, do it while your ass is in school. While this shit is free. We didn't listen either. Want to be bad grown as be grown, but bad as hell, didn't we? Look at you now. Mama gone, daddy gone, big mom gone, auntie gone, uncle's gone. Them folk gone. Now we're them. But they put in us a work ethic. They put in us the ability to go out and get it. These youngsters today. Getting off topic, Angela Bassett's kid telling her that Michael B. Jordan had died. They got this fucking challenge going on now. TikTok bullshit. They want to see your response and your reaction. He got on and apologized. Then you had some bastard sitting here talking, well, he shouldn't have to apologize. Nigga, quit playing with people's emotions, Smokey. What if I came in and told you your mama died violently in a car accident so I could see your emotions, nigga? Romeo wasn't clocking that kind of loot, fam. Nobody trying to holler at Romeo. He was trying to holler at Master P. Yo, old man. The nigga who made shit happen. The ice cream man, nigga. Nobody checking for Romeo, nigga. They only came to you because of Master P. And most positions you were put in, 95% of positions you were put in, P put you in them positions. So now here you are, 33, and you don't know nobody? You ain't got no connections? Come on now.
Let me tell you what they told me, right? Why you go give back to the community? And then they say, dude, all my kids that's obedient,
right,
is good.
Right.
Say, let me tell you something. After I was up on top, and then I stumbled a little bit. Think about it. Then my younger kids came up. Right. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't even know how to raise girls, but the mama wouldn't do what I say do. Think about it. So I'm telling the mama, like, you got to let me. I want to teach my daughters how to be women and how a man should treat you. Oh, they just need this and that. I'm like, no, they don't need that, especially if they got a boyfriend. But I had my grandfather was put me on rice, maybe kneel on rice when I was out of line, doing something wrong. He put the belt on me. That's one thing that I know that I didn't do right. I didn't discipline my kids, and I should have. See that? Let me tell you something. So one of my daughters told me, you hit me, I'm gonna call the police. So even when I was going through this with my other daughter before she passed, dog out. You know I did what I did with her boyfriend. You know that. And then I snatched her. But Romeo called me to go handle this. So I'm about to go to jail now. They let her go. That's kidnapping and all this. No. And guess what happened? The mama did that to me. We're gonna call the police for you. Now look what we had. We had a funeral. Wow. My cousin got out of jail. The last 5 years, he been fighting. I said, he about to go set it off. I said, cuz, this happened with my daddy. You can't go out there and hurt no man behind him. My daughter grown, right? She got a kid. My daddy's sister called him to come handle her boyfriend. And when he got there, my daddy was about to get rid of him. His sister said, if you kill him, you got to kill me too. So that's when I start staying out of grown people that got business, that got relationships and kids. Think about it. So if I would have went and did that, where would I be and where the rest of my kids would be at? Right. So a lot of people don't understand
Sacrifice.
No, but guess what? We get caught up into, well, I ain't gonna get in here and show this, and I ain't gonna do this because it make you lesser than a man.
Right.
Well, how do we teach our people?
And that's why I believe Romeo was out of order. He tried bringing up his sister only to gain sympathy from the public. You know, Master P lost his daughter back in May 2022. Wasn't even a year ago. He had been going through it trying to get her on track for 9 years. She was battling addiction. Her mom was too at one point. And by the way, Master P is still paying Romeo's mother's bills now, although she had her boyfriend living there for years, not paying any bills. But he always made sure that Sonya was okay. But Romeo called Master P, hyping him up to go handle his sister's boyfriend. Master P handled the boyfriend and tried to grab the sister to take her away from the boyfriend. The mama stepped in and said, if you take this 29-year-old woman, we will call the police on you. Now look what happened. A couple of months later, they're at her funeral. And then months after that, you have Romeo online talking about his dad didn't do enough to help his sister. This man physically went to get his grown daughter, and your mama said that she was going to call the police on him. You know, this whole story is heartbreaking. You definitely
Only hollered at you because you was Master P, son. You ain't built shit. You ain't self-made. Romeo and the rest of them run around here like they built some shit. Your man built that shit. Fuck you talking about? You act like you was hotter than P, nigga. Romeo ain't got no street cred. Kurt Franklin's son, 50 Cent's son, Brian McKnight's son, all y'all. You got no street cred. You ain't put in work. You wasn't crawling in the dirt to get it. It was bestowed upon you. What I tell you, Thomas Joyner Jr. told me, you wish you was me. Nigga, who is you? Your name ain't ringing out in these streets. Your old man's name is ringing. Again, you lucky sperm, fam. I love the kid, don't get me wrong. I haven't spoken to him since the early 90s, since they graduated and went out on their path. But your old man was the shit. I'm from Gary, Indiana. When Tom Joyner came on WBMX, Oak Park, Chicago, WGCI in Chicago. When your old man was on that, nigga, I didn't know you. I knew your old man in 1975. You weren't even here. Okay, or you were barely here. Y'all didn't go out and get it like your old man went out and got it. You didn't go through what your old man went through, but that's your old man's fault. One, didn't lay the belt. Two, he wanted you to have everything that he didn't have as a child. Instead of teaching you all the shit he didn't know as a child. See, Ice Cube did it right. Magic Johnson did it right. O'Shea Jr. does not rely on Ice Cube. And he's made several movies on his own. And once Cube got him through the door, he did it on his own because as he went along, he made his own connections. You niggas ain't got no street cred. You didn't have to go dig in the mud to get it. Then he came up, Romeo, came up telling Master P about them damn rap snacks and potato chips. Now, according to Master P, him and his partner James almost got into it because James didn't want Romeo on the potato chip bag. He wanted Master P on the bag. But P sacrificed and was trying to get Romeo out there. He said they ain't make no money off that shit. P said they ain't make no loot. Said they almost came to blows about it. Romeo, player. You can't eat off your old man all the days of your life. Gotta blaze your own trail in this world, youngin'. Again, y'all never really got that ass beat. Again, you ain't never have to go through shit. And then I look at people out here who have spoiled their children and don't know how violent these streets are because your child takes that attitude out into the world. People out in these streets will kill your damn kid with these spoiled ass attitudes. Kill them quick. Remember T.I.'s disrespectful ass kid, King, or whatever his name is? Lil Boosie's little spoiled ass kid. They was going back and forth with a grown ass man, Charleston White. The streets will kill your kids. Dallas, Texas, stand up. We'll put a bullet in your kid. Gary, Indiana, stand up. We'll lay your child down. Don't give a shit he your kid. That's your baby. Folk dying every day, young and old. Your kid, his kid, her kid, they kid. This ain't no game out here. Someone will reach out and touch your spoiled ass child. And you just raising them from the grave. I got that from the Black Authority, Jason Black. You can check out Advantage Fathers and Ungrateful Kids on the Business Podcast on YouTube. Go look him up. He has the Black Authority podcast and he has the Business. And I'd already started writing this a week or two ago. But because I was dealing with everything with my DOT, I had put it to the side. But I listened to it on my way to go and, get back into the swing at work. And I just decided to go ahead and put it out. I don't know if a lot of you recall, 50 Cent bought a shitload of tennis shoes for his son to start an online business because his kid loved tennis shoes, sneakers, gym shoes. Where you're from, all depends. He loved them so much. So here, you can start a business. The man already bought you inventory. What you think the kid and his mom did? Not a damn thing to further themselves. They want to live like 50 live, off 50's money, want 50 to do the work. And they just live. So in closing, remember this. Being out in them streets, the streets only giving out two things, fam. A life sentence and a death sentence. That's my phone agreeing with me. That's all the streets doling out. When have you ever seen an old ass drug dealer? Old ass gangster. Most of these cats that was gang banging back in the day live with their mama. They don't own shit. Ain't got their own place. That's most of them. Not all. When you take a fall and go to the pokey, ain't nobody looking out for you and yours like they said they would. You on your own. Oh, yeah. When people put you in a position that they've already achieved and you're young, you can't just kick back and live off the laurels of your parents, man. You just can't. Everything Romeo got, he got because his old man kicked the dough in. Everything 50 Cent's son got, he got because it was handed to him. $7,600 a month, whatever it is. Talking about you can't live on that in New York. Nigga, please. It's folk living off less than that, fam. With children. Probably influenced by your mom, who was mad that 50 didn't wife her up. I don't know. I'm just saying. You kids are disrespectful. You have a sense of entitlement. And you're fucking lazy. You've been in this bubble since you were born. Now, a friend of mine, I told him something that my old man used to always say. He said, well, that's because he was your stepdad. And he didn't care about you. Thought for a minute. No. And I was in my 50s when I was telling him this. I said, no, I think he loved me and gave a damn about me. When you got to the 9th grade, your freshman year in high school, from time to time, My old man would walk by you and we'd be opening a Christmas present. We'd be eating dinner. We'd be watching TV, or we'd just be kicking the bobo. From time to time, JT would interject. He'd look you dead in your face and say, you know, when you turn 18, you're getting the hell out of here, right? Now, your freshman year, you didn't really care. Sophomore year, he'd say it. I remember one time I was in a chair watching a football game on a Sunday. He comes downstairs, gets him something to drink. He stops there because he's upstairs in his room watching the same game. Chicago Bear fans here. Go Bears. Jason Fields, love you, baby. We're giving you time here. But stood there, then when it went to commercial, JT turned and looked at me. I'm laying in the recliner, his recliner. So, you know, when you turn 18, you're getting the hell out of here, right? And turned and went upstairs. Now, my junior year, I took it to heart. I went into the late entry program in the Army because I was already in JROTC. Someone signed up for the Army, go hide out for 4 years till I can get my life together. My homeboy told me, well, that's because he was your stepdad. No, that's because he knew that you got 4 years to get your shit together. How do you graduate high school and sit here and tell somebody, I don't know what I'm going to do? Nigga, you had 4 years. And by him saying that, I got my shit together. And by him telling me the things he told me as I was growing up. A lot of great things JT said, okay? The gravy train, niggas think the gravy train gonna run forever. The only way to start at the top is to dig a hole. You will always do more work predicated on another nigga's incompetence. All these things to get me ready for life. Romeo Miller didn't have that. It was handed to him. Okay. Marquise Jackson, 50 Cent's son, didn't have that. It's handed to him. Kurt Franklin's son, Carry-On Franklin, didn't have that. Everything was handed to them. And now in your 20s and 30s, you think it should still be handed to you when you should be blazing your own trail like O'Shea Jackson Jr. and a ton of other celebrities whose kinfolk opened the door for them. Now, I do got to say something about Tyler Perry. He talking about, well, black folks shouldn't be at the table because they're not prepared. Nigga, most people weren't prepared. And they people brought them in anyway. It's called nepotism. But fuck Tyler Perry. I don't watch that shit no way. After about the third Madea shit, I was done anyway. All you make is bullshit. All Tyler Perry makes is bullshit. Nothing to uplift the people. Though that's not your job. But by the same token, fam, you don't do shit for the people. It's all about you. Thank you for logging in on the first show of 2023. PushGapRadios.com is back and ready to rumble, baby. Like I said, I've been going through a lot. I failed to test my DOT physical because they were talking about I have congestive heart failure, and they were looking for the ejection fraction. Okay, how much your heart is pumping out. The guy said mine was 35%. So from November 9th all the way up until January 3rd, I don't know if I've ever in my life been anywhere besides my job as much as I've been to the VA. They shot that dye in my heart and checked everything out. It was a little blockage in one of the arteries. But when I went back the next week to see my cardiologist, the great Dr. Deborah Glenn at the VA in Dallas, Texas, as soon as she walked in the door, she said, ain't shit wrong with you. I said, I know, Doc. I don't understand. She said, I don't understand where he was reading that from. I was off work, but see how the Most High works. I did get short-term disability, which I have with my job at DART. I greatly appreciate that. And everything worked out. So thank you for listening in. Thank you for logging in. Please tell someone. Like, subscribe, comment if you would. And I'll see you guys on next week with a brand new show. Happy 2023 to you, whatever it is, please, that you want to do. We got Jackie set up with her online business. We'll have that coming to you shortly. It's going to be on Poshmark and eBay. Got everything set up for that while I was off. Took the pictures of the clothes and got the bank account and the website and all of that. So we'll be bringing that to you as well. We're back on the air again and whatnot. You got more yesterdays than you got tomorrow, those of you of a certain age. Them folk is gone. Mama gone, daddy gone, big mom gone. Get busy. Or in the words of Morgan Freeman in Shawshank Redemption, get busy living or get busy dying. Thank you for logging in. We greatly appreciate it. We will see you guys on next week. Shaka 401 in the main event on PushGapRadios.com. Dallas, baby. And we're out.
Welcome to the party, pal.
PushGapRadio.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Don't knock the hustle, baby. Never average, never mediocre. We're online, on point, and on the money. Shaka 401 in the main event only on PushGapRadio.com.
PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.